Hello, so it's a Wednesday morning. Dad has been having a little vacation time for once the last couple days, so us brothers have been covering his chores. Kendall's headed down to his house to feed the feed truck to the cattle down there. Yesterday we got our first delivery of wheat fertilizer, so I'm hoping to get started top dressing this afternoon.
Get your chores done so you can spray!
We gotta vlog it, man!
Meet the Peterson family. Our dad, the three Peterson brothers, and our families farm together in central Kansas. Our family farm started in 1882 and has been raising cattle and crops ever since. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like and a comment if you enjoy the video.
I've been waiting for, well, people probably started top dressing around here like a week ago, and the fields were still a little wet then. I had an issue on the sprayer that I had to get fixed, and I decided to let a real mechanic do it because it just was going to be slightly complicated of a job. He had to take off the air compressor to reach an O-ring that was behind it. There's a chance the fitting could have just been tightened to stop the leak. It was oozing oil out of the side of the block of the engine, which wasn't good, and it was quite a bit. And I noticed it last fall, and I had been having to pour more oil in, and then I think it got worse just with the cold making that O-ring hard. It was behind this air compressor. He had to take that all the way off and then we just replaced it. We put a new O-ring in there just so it, hopefully shouldn't happen again for another 6,000 hours. Now the fields, are drying, and I shouldn't have to worry about leaving tracks, I don't think. And the weather's holding. We're back in more of a drier weather pattern. We don't have chances of rain every week, so that's why I decided if everything runs well, I should be able to get done in like 3-4 days. I'm doing a split application of nitrogen this year. I'm going to try that so it won't be as many gallons all at once as we've done some years, which means less filling and covering more acres. Probably in the middle to second half of March, I'll stream some more nitrogen on. This round I'll be spraying with chemical to clean up the weeds. We finally have weeds in our wheat. We haven't had much weeds in our wheat for 2 years because it was too dry to sprout anything. But now this year it seems like there's a lot of weeds because they've all been, now with the good moisture, they've all sprouted. And they've been waiting 2 years to have good growing conditions too. So I'm going to plug our sprayer in because it's very cold-blooded or warm-blooded, whichever one you want to say. He doesn't like to start without being plugged in. And then I'm going to feed the cattle and then hopefully get running. Got to get these cattle fed, and then I got to get the wheat fed. Those guys are hungry. These cattle are transitioning from the starter ration to the grower ration, so we like to see them hungry. Gotta help these cattle, guys, before I can get to my spraying. Boy. Semi's in waiting. Ziva's gonna come with me because she still hasn't burned off all the energy she built up during all that mud when we couldn't let her come to the farm and run around. She's got her yard to run around in, but I think she gets bored of its smells. She likes all the smells over here. Well, I'm starting close to home. I could have made Kendall come pick me up, but I guess I'm walking. He's got stuff he's doing. So this is wheat after some very poor soybeans. And then over there, that thick stuff is some of the earliest because it was after its second year wheat. And this we were waiting for the beans. My load should do these 3 fields. My semi-load take 4 fills, and we'll see how it goes. Kendall's gonna spread some manure. He's got that out. So And Dad's on his way home, and I think Greg's coming out later too. Should have a busy day ahead. We're gonna get some of the piles of wet manure out of the pens where we push to get dry spots.
It's 70 degrees today in February, so that's really nice, and it has dried out quite a bit. If you remember our last couple vlogs, the roads were just a muddy mess, and our pens were terrible, but the road graders have come through, fixed the roads up, and the wind and the heat has definitely dried everything out. So definitely a lot more pleasant to work in. The wheat is really greening up after all that snow melted. And so one of the things we're going to be doing this week is putting on fertilizer on all this wheat as it starts to green up and come out of dormancy.
So we try to filter everything that goes into the sprayer pretty well. We have a filter on the tender trailer and on here. But one of the nice things about the capstan system is if something gets stuck in one of those nozzle control bodies, it'll tell me that it's not pulsing like it should. And this one is stuck open. It says valve lodged open, and it tells me which number. Sometimes they get stuck closed, and then you know you're not getting spray put out on that nozzle, so then I would stop faster. I was gonna keep going and see if this one flushes itself out, but once I get to the end here, I'll stop and go clean that one out, because it doesn't seem to be cleaning itself out.
Pens are finally drying out. We are pulling manure out of this pen, trying to get, this pen was in the worst condition, and so we're trying to haul the slop out of here, out onto the field. Kendall's spreading it.
Okay, so my time of vlogging for you guys, the day in the life of my dad, since I've been doing all my dad's chores morning and night, is almost over. He got back this evening, but I told him don't come up here. Your chores are taken care of. So he'll be here tomorrow morning though, and start doing his starter load again. But I'm gonna park it in the shed, and then I gotta do the feed truck one more time as well. I think Greg's gonna wash it off quick for me before I gotta take it, and then it's a church night, so got to split for that a little earlier in the evening than usual.
So it is day 2 of fertilizing wheat. Had a pretty good day yesterday. Well, it wasn't that great a day, but I had a pretty good evening. I got 3 loads sprayed, and then the 4th load that was in my truck loaded so that I could get another delivery of fertilizer this morning. This morning I took care of another couple things. Like my air conditioner wasn't working yesterday, so I got it going, and now I'm back spraying. So I had the load to start, so I'm hoping to get at least 5 loads done today. If everything went really well, I could try to get another load. It's not like that big a rush. The weather looks nice. I'm on the last pass of the last field here around the home place, and then Greg and I, so Greg's coming our field west of here, just both of us in the truck and the sprayer, and one of us will have to sit and wait a little while the other sprays, but I have a couple things I could do while waiting, and I'll eat lunch while I'm waiting. So he's getting out here to trade me off, and we'll see how our fertilizer supplier is sitting on deliveries. He's really busy. They're really busy this time of year because once the wheat starts greening up a little, everyone wants to fertilize at once. And when you get a bunch of farmer machines going and they're trying to run their own machines, that's a lot of fertilizer going out and trying to keep up with. So we'll see if they can get us one. Otherwise, we'll be sitting pretty good for the day. Wow, what idiot made these tracks with the dual tractor picking up bales? Oh wait, that was me. Oh, somebody sent me a happy birthday. My birthday was a long time ago. Maybe it was my daughter's birthday. No, it wasn't ours. I'll bet this traveled a long ways. You never know what you're gonna find in the field. Alright, there goes Greg. I'm gonna go grab my lunch. I also have a shuttle of water to mix my chemical in, and it's already getting low because I've been using more water than I realized, which I probably should have assumed I would. So I'm gonna put a hose running in the water tank while I go warm up my food, and hopefully still keep up with Greg. Well, he had to wait a little bit, but we got here, got her filled, and now I get to eat. This is a nice wide open field. And she's in the water. Good day to have leftover fried chicken when Greg can trade me off, because it'd be awful hard to eat it in the cab. I'm having a nice little picnic. So, looks like Greg's empty. I thought he'd end up empty closer to the truck, but whatever, that's fine. We have pretty good options to go after broadleaf weeds in wheat, because wheat is a grass. But we don't have very good options to go after grasses in wheat. There's been a few different things developed, but usually, like, those chemicals hinder your, or basically all those chemicals hinder your ability to rotate to a crop, double crop after wheat. They basically hinder anything you'd try to double crop except going back to wheat. So we basically rely on crop rotation to clean up grasses like rye, feral rye, or cheatgrass are the main ones we deal with. And wheat, there is no Roundup Ready wheat, and so that's where we have to rely on crop rotation to keep our crops clean. But the broadleaves, we have some options to kill them in the grass.
Top dressing wheat with nitrogen fertilizer. Also putting some finesse herbicide on this field. Got the Topcon auto steer X35 monitor going, and then the capstan PWM system, nozzle control system, running each nozzle individually. Beautiful day to be out here. 65 degrees, I think. Nathan has been doing most of the top dressing so far, but he was eating lunch, so I came to keep the sprayer running while he was in eating lunch. So Nathan's the number one sprayer operator, but I'm usually the first backup. The wheat looks awesome. A lot of that is probably from all the moisture we've had in the last few months. We haven't had a winter moisture like this in at least 3 years. And so it's really nice to be out here top dressing wheat that's a good stand and that looks good and that has adequate moisture. Has a lot of potential if it'll keep raining here into the spring. And that's a place we haven't been for a couple years. We haven't had a lot of wheat potential. We've had fall crop potential for sure, but then of course it hasn't rained in the summer, and so all that potential's wasted. So we're really hoping for a good crop because it's kind of been a while, other than last year's corn. Last year's corn was a pretty decent crop.
So the last 2 years I would walk the fields and really struggle to find weeds because it's just so dry to even sprout them. But this year, if you look close, there's all this little henbit, lots and lots of henbit. It's going to be a purple spring. So we're putting on some chemical to hopefully kill that while it's still small. There's also some mustard weed out there in places, and some other stuff, but mostly the henbit. So that's what we're really going after, putting on the first shot of nitrogen, and then we'll come back here in a month or less, well maybe a month, about another month, and all this will be all tillered out and getting ready to, we'll be going into jointing, and then we'll put on another chunk with streamer nozzles. And one year I did I streamed it first and then I broadcast, and then some years I do it all in one shot. So we just try different things. Mostly matters how the weather is in May, how good your wheat does. So there's what I call mustard. Oops. And then all this is the henbit. And then over here, I can't remember what this is. It's a weed too. And they're all broadleaves.
Alright, Nathan's going to finish the field. I'm going to take this semi back to my mom and dad's house where the next field will be. Top dressing wheat always feels like the start of spring, especially here when it's been 70 degrees. After we put nitrogen on the wheat, it usually starts to take off, starts to grow. So for us here in central Kansas, that's kind of the start of the growing season, even though it's February. I know that's a lot different from other places maybe, but it always kind of feels like spring as we do our first field work and get out there and cover some acres. So it's a good feeling, and it's so nice that it's sunny and warm compared to that cold stretch we had at the beginning of the year, or even the muddy, wet stretch we had.
So just got done with this field that where we spread the manure last in the late summer, and it was really hard, and we were going to need some help from Mother Nature. And for the most part, that's what we got. We got a nice rain to get a good stand here. You can see, I mean, that's the manure, and it's breaking down and getting into the soil. There's a few places. See, that's going to be nice. There's a few places where it washed some, but that was kind of expected. We're still kind of building this up. It's kind of
rocky soil. It's interesting.
There's a few places where the wheat's a little thin, but hopefully, most of it is perking up really nice, got a good stand, and it has a lot of potential. This nitrogen will give it another boost, and just trying to get a good wheat crop here. One of the best things we seem to be able to do for a field is grow a good wheat crop and then follow that up with good no-till practices. That's kind of our goal when we farm a piece of ground. We'll probably come back here with second year wheat. I hope to cover the second half of this field with manure too, and then grow second year wheat. And then you kind of get that mulch on mulch, and then we'll get it into that row crop. Then we'll go into row crops and hopefully get more out of it. The first couple years we grew milo here, just didn't do very good. They were really tough years too, but we feel like we can get a little more out of it. This is also where we grew millet instead of soybeans, and I don't know if we'll ever try to grow soybeans here or not, but hopefully we can get it built up to where we would be confident enough to do that. Otherwise, it's a really good option for growing millet or sorghum sudan grass, something for hay and haul it home, because it can produce, you can produce forages cheaper and on cheaper ground where you don't have as high yield expectations for something like soybeans. So you pay for the bills a different way. So it's a little before 4:30 and I've made it back to mom and dad's place and have some wheat on either side of the place here to fertilize, but I am out of fertilizer, and so he wasn't sure if they'd get it here tonight or in the morning, but that's okay. That's how it goes. It's busy, and so I'm probably gonna pack it up here and see if there's anything else I need to help with. I'm not even sure what Kendall and Greg are doing at this point, but we got a lot done today. 5 loads before 4:30, so that's pretty good.
Where are you standing? On the rocks. Brighton's on one pile of rocks, Daddy's on the other pile. Here, Daddy will go stand on the third pile, on the baby pile. You want me to go back there? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Huh? Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.